What's up, everybody, and welcome to another SMM game. Technically, the first SMM game I'm going to bring you from the main tournament, and this is actually the winner's bracket semifinals already. As you can see, I've skipped over a lot of games. I've actually casted a couple more games, but since only Southeast Asians only post on Ghost Gamers, the rating system is a bit convoluted. Basically, every game gets a 9 or a 10. So I just casted probably the most boring game of my life, and it's probably the first cast, or one of the first casts, that I'm just not going to upload to YouTube. I'll upload it if I get the chance, but you won't want to see it. It was Invasion Red versus Orange. It was 2 or 3 to nothing after 20 minutes, and it was probably the most dull game I've ever experienced. But those are two Malaysian teams, and Orange is playing without their starting lineup. But that doesn't matter because we got a full Pinoy matchup. What you've been waiting for all this time. But before this game starts, I do want to talk about a couple things. Firstly, just had a major brain lapse. Oh yeah, how many games am I going to bring you for how many games am I going to bring you from SMM? That is a good question. Probably going to bring you one or two more games after this. I know I'm going to try to cast one with Lumi, the grand finals with the Bristleback. So that will probably be on his channel when it does go up. But other than that, in this game, I don't foresee myself casting too many games. Chinese withdrew their participation in order to attend a local tournament instead. Maybe they figured the money wasn't good enough. Maybe they had better opportunities at the LAN tournament. Who can say? So this is all a Southeast Asian fair, and that did drain some of the excitement away. But hopefully next SMM will be more exciting, with either Dota 2 or Switch having more Chinese or international competition in general. Secondly, as you can see, I am now partnered. If you saw an ad at the beginning of the video, and I ask you kindly, please turn off your ad block if you're watching me, Lumi, Toby, Gods, LD, AC, etc., Shiver, because if you want to support us, then turn off your ad blocks when you watch your video. That is probably the best way you can support us and spread the word. But yeah, I'm partnered, so I have ads now on my main channel, so please just turn off your ad block and wait 30 seconds so we can keep entertaining you guys and make it worthwhile for us to keep bringing worthwhile entertainment for you. And thirdly, that is it, because the third point was how many games of SMM am I going to cast. I actually put a post on my Facebook page asking which game should I cast. I don't know if this was one of the games, but I'm going to cast it anyway, full Pinoy and Pinoy matchup. And I paused it here before the heroes are picked to just talk about the picks and bans a bit. In the Orange vs Invasion Red game, Shadow did not receive first ban. Pretty interesting. It was actually Magnus was the first ban as Malaysian matchup. And I think Invasion Red borrow heavily from Chinese teams, because they've been employing TC in every one of their strategies thus far, and been going with a lot of Dota 2-centric bans, as was Orange. But meanwhile, you can see there's a completely different metagame involved in the Filipino scene. You can see Magnus is just thrown out there in the back, just saying, alright, you can have him. Drought was banned in the Invasion Red vs Orange game. Let me know if you still want me to upload that, by the way, but it's pretty dull. But Drought was banned that game, Bat was banned that game, Tia was banned that game, Magnus was banned that game. Other than that, that's pretty much it. But the hero I want to focus on, and the reason why I casted the other game, was certain hero was not in Dota 2. TC wasn't in Dota 2 in the Orange vs Invasion Red game, and Skywrath Mage is not in yet in Dota 2, so hopefully we can see why the Pinoys love Skywrath Mage oh so much in this game. But going into this tournament, Pacific.Emaxx definitely one of the favorites, as well as Orange, and considering Orange did not go with their full roster, Yamate saying he wants to focus fully on Dota 2, so I think it was 3 Han members, and Mushi and Extinct boot camping for a bit. But the Philippines were definitely ready, definitely want to take this SMM by storm, train very hard, and hopefully they'll bring it to them. But Pacific.Emaxx, if there was a favorite, these guys are definitely the favorites, because they have won 4 GESTs, 1 GMPGL, made 2 GMPGLs, and hopefully they can bring their talents to Dota 2 if they ever switch over. If not, hopefully they'll keep donning Dota 1. But anyway, we'll introduce the players and the teams. We have Biabas playing the Bounty Hunter, traditional carry. Dawn is playing the Jakiro. Looks like CHN is playing the Skywrath Mage. Ice is playing the Dragon Knight and Inma is playing the Undying. Where's Huggy Bear? Or Hug? I know one of these guys is Doc and one of these guys is Hug, or maybe they just couldn't get their full roster participation in. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Jay playing his traditional Windrunner, 716 playing the Queen of Pain, Woods is playing the Earthshaker, SEL, not too sure who that is playing the Crystal Main, and SWS is playing the Queen of Pain, or the Drow Ranger. As you can see, Windrunner already doing some harassing onto Be a Boss. Windrunner versus Bounty Hunter. Really pretty even matchup. Bounty Hunter can get his last hits, get his some experience, but Windrunner shouldn't die as long as she's smart. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter shouldn't die either, especially since Windrunner not like to get wards. As you can see, standard double courier up. Only one courier up onto the side of Pacific.Emaxx, just getting this little raccoon, eluding me completely. And this Tron versus Tron, promising to be very action-oriented, but I do want to take this time to focus a bit on Skywrath Mage versus Queen of Pain. But might not get the chance because it is Tron versus Tron. Dragon Knight in the Tron, usually in the Filipino scene we see Dragon Knight in the solo mid position, get that ball, courier it up, and just go to town. But he's already skilled 1 point into Breath of Fire, not getting a point to the stun, curiously enough. Jakiro and Dirge. Dirge played as a hardcore support, just get that point, Tombstone, Decay when you can, so he can really become a factor. Me on the other side of the equation, we have Drow, and considering they have another range hero in the form of Crystal Main, that True Shot Aura will do a heck of an amount of damage. So Jakiro, considering he doesn't have the highest base armor pool and does not have the highest range, does have to be a bit careful, but Jakiro is going to circle around, cast Ice Path. It does hit 2, but no reinforcements, as since the Dragon Knight did cast 2 Breath of Fires, I fully expect him to pick up a bottle. But considering the bottle is constantly being ferried back and forth with the mid lane and the top lane, not too sure how that will go. But Dragon Knight is being very, very liberal with his Breath of Fire usage, so that indicates to me that he's going to get a bottle, and he's not going to feel too bad about getting that. Just saying, alright, if I can't have mid lane, I'm just going to pretend like I am mid lane with a bit of backup. But Skywrath Mage, this is what we've been wanting to see. I've been wanting to cast Skywrath Mage for quite a while. He has some pretty useful spells, as he has Bottle. His spells cost a lot of mana, but his little wave nuke, that looks sort of like Soul Assumption in Dota 1, is an intelligence nuke that scales, so similar to a lot of League of Legends skills, and it scales as intelligence goes up. It's a little bit like a Arcane Orb, but it doesn't scale nearly as heavily as a percentage-based mana cost. Instead, it scales with intelligence. As a pretty decent mana cost, his second spell, Concussive Shot, slows down the opposing target while doing a significant damage, and its third spell, probably his best spell overall, is a Silence. And here comes a Concussive Shot, as well as the... what is that spell called? I don't even know. I'll have to find out when I look at it. Maybe it's like Arcane Pulse or Arcane Wave or something like that. As looks like Bounty Hunter and Windrunner are going to duke it out. But his third spell is a Silence that also increases the amount of magical damage that a target takes. And they can still be hit by physical damage target attacks as well. Meow's ultimate 20-second cooldown, if I'm not mistaken, can deal up to 600 to 800 damage in an area of effect, a very small area of effect that is dispersed among 2 targets, 2 heroes. So if an 800 damage nuke comes in, then both heroes will take 400 damage, but it does have a ridiculous mana cost. So I think it's 600 mana at its max level. So overall, he's a pretty interesting hero. When he was first released, me and Lumi thought he was a bit of a trash hero because he's not mobile. He doesn't really have a solid stun. He doesn't have a solid escape. But the Philippines do love their Skywrath Mage for whatever reason. I think it's because he beats a lot of other mid-sale heroes pretty badly. Beats Dragon Knight, beats Shalapine quite badly, and they really can't stand lane. Even Queen of Pain, he pretty much wins every mid-solo matchup in Dota 2, is having a very difficult time in this main lane. Has not even picked up the bottle. No, actually has the bottle. It's just being constantly shipped to her back and forth. And there's going to be a gank attempt on this Skywrath Mage, but I think Pacific.Emaxx do know. They're a very experienced team. But the fissure is blocked off on the wrong side. Crystal Main's going to get blocked off completely as a bit of a missed chain stun. Crystal Main, did she already cast a spell? I think she did. No, she had the Silence on her. That's why. as looks like the arcane shock is going to fly back in. Earthshaker trying to get enough mana, does have enough mana, just barely use it. He does get the kill, nicely done by Woots, but they devote a lot of resources. And here comes Bounty Hunter trying to go in with that haste rune, going to try to go for Queen of Pain, but he's going to get frozen to the ground and going to get Nova'd for his troubles, as also 2 kills picked up by Mineski, as this is definitely not what Pacific.Emaxx want to have happen. But keep in mind, they devoted 3 people to that gank, 4 people for that gank, over quite an extensive amount of time, so they didn't get too much experience, and nobody was farming on the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Dragonite was just free farming it up on that bottom lane. Actually has the Ring of Basilius, so I don't think he has the courier up on his own. Maybe he does, because he has full mana. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Windrunner, just free farming it up. We'll see if she goes to a standard mechanism build. Penalized love it. Everybody loves it. Mechanism, phase boots, force staff, etc., etc. Really not too much to talk about in differences to Windrunner builds. All you can say is Jay will definitely make exciting plays happen, as either he'll feed ridiculously hard or he'll juke away constantly at negligible amounts of HP. Meanwhile, Drow, after assisting in that gank, is 10-1, so not having the best CS, but Drow definitely a very annoying hero to deal with. Interestingly enough, she is in Captain's Mode in Dota 1, but not in Dota 2, as Queen of Pain finally hits level 6, Skywrath Mage is level 6 as well, I must imagine. Now Skywrath Mage has to play a bit more careful. He does have 1 point into that magic damage increasing ability. Arcane Seal or something like that. Pretty much everything is going to be arcane, if I don't know the name for it. It's just going to be, you know, arcane little bird wave, arcane giant blue ball thing, arcane air effect spell. But here comes the Tombstone. Drow Ranger is going to get stunned in place for a bit. It looks like Dawn picks up the last hit as the chain stun by the Dragonite Ice Path. And the Tombstone was enough to seal the deal. You know, there's going to be another gank for the Skywrath Mage, as Skywrath Mage is going to take a bunch of damage. Does kill the Queen of Pain before he dies, so he is going to pick up some experience. As the Earthshaker was stored, and here comes the Jakiro. Earthshaker does have boots, but Jakiro does as well. Earthshaker going to turn on, drop a fissure, and the teleport in by Pink was cancelled. Windrunner got her TP cancelled by a Shuriken Toss. Nice awareness by Biabas. So Jakiro is going to live to fight another day, and Earthshaker is going to have to traverse all the way back to the fountain. So overall, some solid plays, and already we have double the kills than in the first SMM game that I cast, which will probably not be uploaded because that shit was boring as heck. But nothing gets the blood boiling as some Pinoy on Pinoy action as Winner trying to escape out of there. She is tracked, and her movement speed is going to speed down, as looks like the little birdie just going to come in, claim another victim. Earthshaker actually teleports back into the lane, trying to save the Winner, but unfortunately could not save her, and now he's going to have to stay in lane for not max mana and not max HP. Definitely not what Woots wanted to have happen, and looks like 716 did lose the courier, so a nice bounty going in the way of Pacific.Emaxx, and looks like there's going to be another initiation on the bottom lane. Drow is going to take a bunch of damage. Tombstone is going to be dropped. I don't think they'll kill the Drow. They're just going to drive her off the lane, and they might kill the tower. No, Dragonite is going to keep up the chase. It does have that ridiculously long range, but not enough mana for the Dragon Tail to seal the deal on another opposing hero. But meanwhile, it looks like Drow Ranger is going to salve, trying to take down this Tombstone, but Tombstone, only level 2, is going to time out before it can take too much damage, considering the majority of the time it was up. Both of the heroes are just running away from the big scary dragon that was flying towards them. Meanwhile, Woots has migrated his lane way to the top lane, want to keep Bounty Hunter down. Bounty Hunter with the track, definitely still something to be fair with, as there's going to be engagement on the bottom lane. Looks like 716 did take the fall, so was that Queen of Pain again? Yeah, Queen of Pain not having the best games thus far, being shut down in the middle lane by Skywrath Mage. Got a gank off, but Skywrath Mage does have Arcane Boots. Now he's starting to get his mana flowing. Now this is what a Skywrath Mage wants, to constantly pump out the damage 24/7. And unlike OD, he has a silence, so he can shut people down. This is Bounty Hunter gonna get his bottle back up, just dropping some nukes whenever he can feel like it, and Windrunner is gonna get met up, but Earthshaker gonna take a bunch of damage. Looks like the seal is on Earthshaker, so he can't cast any spells. And here comes one more Shockwave. Earthshaker is gonna live with barely a sliver HP, 6 HP. Meanwhile, Skywrath Mage is gonna take a bunch of damage, but Windrunner does pick up the kill. But here comes Bounty Hunter, nice fissure back into place. Bounty Hunter trying to get a Shuriken. I think he used Shuriken at the beginning of the engagement rather than at the end. No, it looks like he just didn't have enough mana. He probably used Shuriken at the beginning and then tried to use it again at the end, but just barely not enough mana. But overall, some close plays all around. And Skywrath Mage, even though he was doing quite well, is now 2-3, so he is not doing the best thus far. Meanwhile, Drow finally going to get some alone time to try to get that marksmanship up. Going to give everybody a nice boost to damage. All their range units. Queen of Pain finally going to have some damage to right home about. And their creep's going to have some nice pushing ability as well. But here comes Skywrath Mage. They want to get the seal going, but it looks like the Ice Path did just whiff. As the concussive shot, not doing too much damage. Level 1 concussive shot, I think only does 50 damage with pretty short duration in terms of slow. Meanwhile, Windrunner, Earthshaker, very low in terms of HP. We'll check out the early game creep stats. Probably don't mean too much. Windrunner has 50. And other than that, Dragon has 41, Drow has 24. So overall, pretty even game. Windrunner does have the highest farm in the game, has picked up the phase boots. Looks like she's going for that mecha, or it could be just for a Force Staff. I mean, Windrunner, her item build doesn't change too much, but there was an engagement on the bottom lane to pick off that Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger being kept down quite hard. And Drow Ranger, even though she is in Dota 1, the Philippines know how to gank. They will just throw 5 heroes at your 1 hero over and over again, just slamming their heads against a brick wall or to keep down your Drow Ranger. And that's what you have to do against Drow to deal with her aura. Just make sure she's never alive. Just throw down all the damage you can possibly get, because she is still not very tanky. An unfortunate positioning by Mineski meant that there was no backup support to help the Drow. But it looks like Jay might be able to pick off a tower on the top lane, try and do as much damage. Does have a siege unit, should just try to power shut it down. As you can see, the Drow aura does transfer to siege units, which is completely ridiculous. But, you know, it won't happen anymore unless it's in 900 range in the new patch. This is still the old 6.76 patch. Looks like Jay does clean up the tower, but Bounty Hunter trying to go to town. I think Windrunner does not have Windrun, probably used it to avoid a lot of the tower shots, but Bounty Hunter just going to back off, knowing that the cooldown for Windrunner would be back up, and Mechanism is going to be very close to being done for the Windrunner, is just going to continuously get the bottle. So nice play by Jay, picking off the tower, and that's what you have to worry about against a Drow. But no wards up. Whose ward? That is definitely a Scourge ward, and Drow knows. She knows she has to run. It's nice warding by both sides, keeping the rune warded at all times, keeping the mid lane warded to see the approaching ganks. Definitely helped save the Drow right there, even though she was under the tower. Shakira with that ridiculous range Dragonite, if he went into the range form with that Dragon Tail, could definitely just come in and end the life of that Drow Ranger, who has a Shadow Element, so going straight for that standard Lothar's build. Pretty standard these days. As Jay cleans up another tower, so Pacific.Emaxx, even though they are winning in terms of kill counts, definitely not doing the best job, but so difficult to counter push against a Drow. Dirge only level 6, 12 minutes in the game. I've seen worse. Looks like Smoker to See is popped. No detection being scoping it out. Definitely would not expect a ward being placed all the way back there this early on in the game. But it looks like the smoke was dispelled on the Dragonite, so now Mineski do know that there's a very angry green creature after them. Earthshaker's level 6 as well, has Arcane Boots. Crystal Main not at level 5, is going to pick up level 5. Just get a creep, dude. Come on, Crystal Main. As Sonic Wave's going to fly in, one more hit, going to clean up the... Oh, going to get one last parting concussive shot because Queen of Pain got her spells sealed. Looks like the Skywrath Mage is going to live to fight, and they're just going to teleport right back to base. And there's going to be another engagement on the top lane trying to clean up the Drow Ranger. Bounty Hunter tried to get in there, but Jay was enough to ward off, and now the Mechanism is up, going to heal the Drow Ranger up. Drow Ranger, you can probably just get back to lane if you really wanted to. If you really had to. Meanwhile, Emaxx is going to buy another smoke, trying to desperately get some map control back on their side. Pacific.Emaxx, probably the best Filipino team in Dota 1 at the moment, but they are clearly caught off on the wrong side of things in this game thus far. But still, they're the best Dota 1 team in the Southeast Asian scene for a reason. I'm sure they've faced deficits like this before. But the problem is they don't even have too much farm to make up for it. The highest farm is 54 on their Dragon Knight, but he has finished the Lothar's Edge, so now they have a decent way to initiate with that ridiculous range, and Jay just might be the recipient of a gank. As Jay gonna get tracked, here comes the concussive shot. Jay is most definitely gonna die. As you can see, Skywrath Mage ultimate did whiff. Jay gonna run completely in an unexpected direction that the Sentinel were expecting. Gonna force out a tombstone as well, but he is gonna take the fall. Did have to risk 135 gold for that teleport, but did bait out the tombstone, so all is not lost. Meanwhile, level 8 Drow versus level 9 Dragon Knight. Drow definitely does not want to be a part of that. I'm going to be very interested to see what this Drow goes. Will she go Lothar's herself and just pop out with ridiculous damage? Or will she go for a more standard teamfight Drow with the lifesteal with the Yasha meta? Something that we saw a lot in the Chinese scene back when Drow was very popular. It really depends, as Skywrath Mage just trying to bulk up on the intelligence items, has a null talisman, has not been too successful thus far, 2, 3, and 1. So we have not seen the true test of Skywrath Mage's power. As Crystal Main had a Psychic Sentry Ward, then they could have seen it. But Bounty Hunter is going to go onto the Drow, going to pop the Shuriken as well. Drow going to just teleport out of there. Oh, her other allies were teleporting out of there as well to defend the middle tower. So nice timing by the Bounty Hunter to do some damage, prevent Drow from farming. So real smart plays by Biabas, as he saw the two other people. So I wasn't expecting him to jump. But here comes the engagement. Windrunner did just barely, I think, pop the Windrun, but here comes a huge amount of damage coming in from the Skywrath Mage nuke. But looks like Sonic Wave is going to clean up the Dragon Knight. Ice is going to take the fall. Queen of Pain trying to get the heck out of there. Going to pop the Magic Wand, but Blink is still on cooldown. Not yet high enough level of Blink, and meanwhile, Crystal Main is going to get pursued. She's going to die as well. Decay doing a bunch of damage. Earthshaker is silenced. This Skywrath Mage silenced so strong, and the increased magical damage helped melt that Earthshaker. Queen of Pain teleports back in, bought back, and is forced to get the heck out of there, and now she's going to get silenced again. She's going to lose the buyback money, and one fell swoop, Pacific.Emaxx sees a huge advantage if they can kill the Drow right here. This could be game-changing, but Drow is going to survive right now, has a life still. Here comes the Fissure, trying to pick off the Jakiro, going to drop the Echo Slam as well. They're going to get the Jakiro, but at what cost? Meanwhile, Biabas kills Drow. Stern Life in the Day of the Bounty Hunter has the drums finished. Meanwhile, Jay is on the pursuit, but unfortunately Jay cannot do too much against an invisible hero. No detection, they're just staying near their sentry ward, hoping that Bounty Hunter will approach this direction. But now it's just a level 6 Crystal Main, but I think Biabas knows. Biabas is a very smart player. Gonna get the heck out of there. Meanwhile, Dragon Knight just farming up. He did die at the beginning of the engagement last time, but when it was 6-4, now it's 12-6, and they killed Queen of Pain, got her to buy back, and then she died again. That is a huge blow for Mineski. Queen of Pain probably had a lot of gold, but now we can see the gold loss tab, 683 gold. Not counting the buyback, I don't think. Pretty hefty amount of gold to be losing at this stage in the game if you're a Queen of Pain. As you can see, she's definitely suffering for it with that no talisman and the treads. That's it. As Crystal Main's going to get tracked up, Dragon Knight is going to initiate onto the Queen of Pain. Dragon Knight might be a bit in over his head, but he is so fast with the phase boots and the Lothar's Edge. Dragon Knight does take the fall. Bounty Hunter is going to get revealed. Can he get stunned? Can he get invis back out of there? Sonic or Scream of Pain does hit invisible units, but Queen of Pain is going to guess the wrong direction. And Biabas is going to get the heck out of there. Meanwhile, Drow going with the more team fight, farming oriented build, going for the lifesteal rather than anything like a Lothar's Edge. He's facing against a Bounty Hunter. If Bounty Hunter wants her dead, he'll find a way. He's got bounties on that bitch. Meanwhile, 13-7. As we can check out the overall experience, you can see Sentinel have a pretty sizable experience advantage, level 6 Crystal Main, as opposed to a level 8 Shakiro who has Arcane Boots. Meanwhile, Crystal Main lacking in terms of wards. If the game goes late, who does it favor? Well, if the game goes late, you can never count out a team with a Drow. But Dragonite and Skywrath Mage, definitely no slouches in the late game department. But Skywrath Mage gonna finish the Force Staff. So now he's at least has a bit more mobility, has 1300 mana as well, so I can use a lot of his little mini nukes. Man, I should look up what that spell actually is after the game. Meanwhile, Dragonite did take the fall, 1k gold in the bank, probably going to go for that BKB, pretty standard. Meanwhile, there's a migration to the bottom lane. I don't think they can kill this tower. They don't have any vision. They have this ward that can scout out the movement. Definitely not somewhere you expect to war at this stage in the game. But Mineski know that probably the Sentinel are packing in terms of sentry wards, but they're going to get completely blindsided by this gank. Because of that faulty ward, Earthshaker is going to get the magic wand popped. As here comes the Tombstone, Earthshaker going to get silenced. Never stood a chance. A double kill being picked up immediately. Jay needs to get the heck out of there. But gonna get stunned, gonna get bursted down. Easy kills for Pacific.Emaxx. As, unfortunately, this ward, not too good when everybody's going around this direction. That's just how it goes. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter finished the phase boots as well as getting a component for the BKB himself. And dutifully filling their bottles this courier, getting those freaking flower miles. Pretty much a carrier pigeon. They should have a pigeon model, just so it can carry a bunch of shit. And now, Pacific.Emaxx, I bet they're going to try to take down this middle tier 1 tower, then try to secure the Roshan, or are they going to jump right into the Roshan pool right now? No, Bounty Hunter just going to bottle up a haste rune. Drow's getting a lot of free farm up top, but not even level 11, just going for a straight BKB herself. BKB is the name of the game, especially against all this burst damage, and especially for the Scourge. That silence is really tearing through them with that amplified damage. Meanwhile, Pacific.Emaxx, having gained back some of the map control, are able to place a lot more aggressive wards. So even though Philippine Dota may seem a bit crazy, pretty standard moves, placing aggressive wards when they have the lead, just counter warding, getting map control, farming up BKBs. You know, there's a lot of differences, but there's also a lot of similarities in Dota.
A player's forces are under attack.
But 23 kills in 21 minutes, I've definitely seen a lot better in kill counts in terms of Philippine Dota. But Jakiro's going to be shackled for a bit. Does have Fish Mecha. Undying has a VIP booster. How are they going to kill all these tank heroes before they get absolutely melted, before they get BKB? Looks like Bounty is going to initiate. Crystal Main never stood a chance. Trackle going to give them a lot of gold. This track just doing so much work. Shuriken Toss going to fly back in, but the Sora by Inma going to clean up the kill. Bounty Hunter is forced to teleport to defend the top lane, but this middle tower will take the fall. Earthshaker. Oh, Earthshaker. Say it ain't so, my friend. Say it ain't so. He's going to have to try to get a fissure, but look at Biabas smartly just saving a Shuriken Toss at the last possible, and even bait out an Echo Slam. And this Earthshaker can only do so much, especially at level 6 or level 7. Level 9. As Mineski tried to just get as much farm on the Earthshaker, they know Echo Slam, because otherwise if he just charges in that, he'll just get silenced every time by the Skywrath Mage. But unfortunately, he got killed by the Bounty Hunter, and so he's going to be a lot further from Link Dagger than he'd otherwise want to be. You know, Queen of Pain has not really recovered since that buyback, death buyback. Going to get silenced by that ward, nicely placed ward. Going to mean the end of the life, and the Force Staff initiation as well as silence. One thing about Skywrath Mage, he does have quite long range, 600 base attack range. But I'm pretty sure his little spell thingy and his concussive shot and his silence have pretty long ranges themselves. And Drow, you just saw a couple of your allies die right here. Or, not too sure what Drow is thinking. But look at this warding by Pacific.Emaxx. Have such aggressive ward, spawning out all the movement of Mineski. Mineski really caught in a tough position at this stage. Meanwhile, looks like CHN gonna pick up Perseverance. Probably gonna go for Lincoln's, I imagine. Pretty good against Frostbite and Shackle Shot. Meanwhile, Dragonite's finished to put entire BKB. Bounty Hunter's finished entire BKB. Track is the name of the game. Whether you be in Dota 1 or in Dota 2, whether you be in America, Europe, or in Southeast Asia or in China, track is still as good in all of these locations. Probably even better in Southeast Asia because there are a lot more kills happening. But Bounty Hunter might just pay the price for his insolence. No, Beabas sniffs it out. And the question is, will Pacific.Emaxx defend? They definitely have the capabilities. And there comes a teleport in. Very defensive teleport by the Jakiro. Just scaring away the assault, but here comes the Dragonite, gonna pop the Lothar's Edge onto Jay. Jay's gonna get tracked as well. Ice Path gonna fly in dual breath, gonna get melted. Here comes a BKB Bounty Hunter, and that is the cue for the Scourge to get the heck out of there. But no, Crystal Main goes to the most obvious location, spends 135 gold just to see the pretty Let's Go flying in, and looks like Earthshaker. Oh, Dragonite did not have enough mana for the Dragon Tail, unfortunately. So Earthshaker was able to get the heck out of there. It's pretty important, but Earthshaker only 1k gold. Definitely nowhere close to picking up that BKB, or that Blink Dagger, and if he does get it, BKBs on both the Dragonite and the Bounty Hunter will definitely nullify a lot of that damage. Help me, Drow Ranger, you're my only hope. As Undying just gonna steal all of your farm. You are gonna give up a Tombstone. But there are definitely worse things in the world to have happen to you. If you are the Sentinel. Meanwhile, Earthshaker, they desperately want to make a gank happen, as unfortunately, not too sure, Pacific.Emaxx just seemed to have overcome their early game deficit. They weren't really, I mean, they had 6-4 advantage in terms of kills, but after picking up those towers, getting that huge team fight victory on the middle lane, they never really looked back at this stage. Meanwhile, Poom Booster, looks like he's going for Bloodstone instead, trying to refill his mana. His ultimate is very expensive, and I imagine his nuke thing gets expensive as well. He doesn't have anything like Arcane Aura. Or, sorry. The OD passive to keep refueling his mana. And that's going to mean a free Roshan for the Dragon Knight. Maybe for the Bounty Hunter? Probably for the Bounty Hunter. We'll see, because the Dragon Knight, if he respawns, will respawn as a puny mortal rather than a big fat dragon. Well, I suppose big fat isn't really the right way to look at it. I guess he's just a big bone dragon. But Dragon Knight is going to pick up the Aegis, so now he's even more of a tank. Has lifesteal as well to boot. As you can see, GG Net Gods. Casting with Toby in this SMM. So if you want any additional coverage, check out the Join Dota and Gods' page to find all of your SMM matches indeed. But so far, Mineski looking to be in a very difficult position. Drow, how much farm does she got? 800 gold in the bank. Anything on any of the couriers? 4 staff or BKB recipe. So Drow almost has the BKB up. The question is, how much will that actually matter? It'll help a lot against the Skyath Mage damage and the Jakiro Ice Paths, but it won't really help you against a Bounty Hunter, who it looks like is going for Orchid just to keep the silence. They're going to silence the Earthshaker and the Queen of Pain if they get both of those silences up, as Queen of Pain going to go for the Aghanim Scepter. This Queen of Pain really needs a BKB herself, because she's just getting silenced so often. But unfortunately, where is she going to find the route to get that BKB? That's the real question. It's really looking very grim for Mineski, as Pacific.Emaxx look to be in a pretty overwhelming position, but never say never. I think Drow will almost have the BKB, but the push is coming. I think they're going to clean up the tier 2 tower on top before they try to swing in mid. Or they're just doing a nice job split pushing, applying a bit of pressure, you know, just slowly breaking it down. As Woot's trying to break it down as well. Doing the Earthshaker jig. And they really want Woots to pick up the Blink Dagger. He's still 500 gold away. If Woots can pick up Blink Dagger, if they get a solid enough initiation to kill the Bounty Hunter outright, I think Mineski have a good shot at getting back in this game. But Bounty Hunter, if he's playing right, it should just be staying back, casting track. Not yet level 16 just yet. As Undying's been farming a long time, going straight for that Reaver. Gonna go for the heart, gonna be pretty much immortal at this stage in the game. Especially with an Aegis up on the Dragon Knight and a Hyperstone to boot. And once those Frosty epicenters start ticking in, it's gonna be a Mineski's fan worst nightmare. As Drow is farming the opposing neutrals trying to finish that BKB. She's finished it, the question is what can she do with it? Plus 148 damage, definitely not something to sneeze at. But everybody on the side of Pacific.Emaxx are very tank. Jakiro 1200 HP with 6 armor. BKB up on the Bounty Hunter 14 armor. My god, not counting for the mechanism aura boost. Really going to be difficult to bring down one of these heroes without Drow dying. But if anybody can do it, Drow can. She is just that strong. As Dragon Knight going to clear out of a nice stack. Gonna try to hit that level 16, I imagine? No, getting a lot of experience stolen from him. But he's level 16. So I think what Pacific.Emaxx they're gonna do, they're gonna wait for that 50 seconds to time out, push in, or actually they're gonna push in without the Dragon Form. So if Dragon Knight dies, can just respawn and then cast Dragon Form and then go back in. Pretty much whatever Pacific.Emaxx decide to do, they can do it. Meanwhile, Mineski just waiting around. They don't really have any choice. They have a Blink Dagger up on the Shaker. Mineski's only shot is off to Woots. No pressure Woots, but if you screw this up, your team is dead. Fissure gonna fly back in. As Crystal Main never stood a chance in hell. Oh my god. It is rough being Crystal Main. But Dragon Knight just charges in, just saying, screw it, gonna kill your Drow. With that incredible damage, and Blink Dagger doesn't mean anything. As Lothar's Edge Phase Boots gives Dragon Knight so much mobility. Woot's gonna take the fall, Jay gonna fall shortly after. Queen of Pain, never stood a chance. Oh, Crystal Main, Crystal Main. The Fountain's not safe for you either. You should just try to kill a Fountain, like... Pacific.Emaxx just, making quick work of Mineski in that engagement. As Pacific.Emaxx show that they are still the favorites in the Dota 1 tournament in the Southeast Asian region. There's a reason why they won 4 straight GES, or not 4 straight, won 4 GESTs this year. A couple GMPGL titles to back it off. And looking to cap it with an SMM victory. And I really don't see any way for Mineski to come back at this stage. Everybody's just too farmed. Bounty on our track, too good. AC's finished up on the Dragon Knight as well. Well, Mineski are going to give it one last shot. They have the Echo Slam up. Smoke of the Sea being popped just with the Earthshaker to get the heck out of there. But it looks like SEL, Earthshaker, Echo Slam is going to be used. They're going to try to kill the Bounty Hunter. They are going to kill the Bounty Hunter, but Woods is going to take the fall. Dragon Knight trying to go back in. Very low HP, but I think he still has Aegis trying to go in for the Queen of Pain. Going to use Fire Breath, just going to spam the living heck out of everything. Looks like Dragon Knight just pretty much cleaning up, and SWS calls GG. That is going to be the game. Mineski going to be sent to the losers bracket. They're going to have to try to make it back, but they're going to be facing up against very scary teams like iZone and others. But thanks for watching, guys, as I pull down the final score screen. Pacific.Emaxx trying to make it a fantastic Dota 1 year for them. And if any team deserves an SMM crown, it is definitely Pacific.Emaxx, as they're looking so strong. But we shall wait and see. But yeah, be on the lookout for 1 or 2 more SMM games. And definitely one on Louis' channel most likely. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.